Hey Internet, it's Gunter with MiniMishaps, and today we are looking at Elvenar's top 10 play features. So you might have seen our Portalacrum Elvenar review, and that was sort of for the game as a whole. But in that time, since then, I have sort of been noticing that the folks over at Elvenar really have the players in mind for some of these features that you don't get to see in a lot of resource management or farming style games. And so I wanted to just run down my list real fast for you guys. So first up, we've got Swipe to Collect. This is a huge one because if you play any kind of farm game or resource management game where you have lots of buildings that you have to collect resources from, this game allows you to either click down or push with your finger, hold down with your finger, and just move around the screen and vacuum up all the buildings that need to be harvested. So that's a really nice thing where you can just sort of do it all in one swiping motion across the screen. I also like how Elvenar rewards you for helping other people. So they have on the map, you can support players that are near you. You can support players in your faction or your guild list. And then you can support buildings in other players' maps, and there's just a lot of ways that and the support makes the buildings go faster or the resources be higher, some of those kinds of things. But it's really neat that you're able to sort of help and be helped by other people in the game. They've got well-written events. Right now they're in a spring event. It's a fairy and goblin theme. It's a lot of fun. Their events allow you to participate even if you're not spending the premier currency or dollars. You can still do the missions and get the rewards. And then other events that they have allow you to kind of function as a whole group. And that's a neat one too, to be able to kind of collaborate with other players to get the goals done. I love the cooldown scheduling on the buildings for the resources. So if there's a day that I can't play, I can set it for 24 hours and come back the next day. Or if I'm working on painting or 3D printing or some other project, I can set it for 15 minutes at a time and come back and check on it in between other things. So it's kind of a nice, you can pick your own pace, and I'll talk a little bit more later, but there's a lot of like choose your own adventure kind of setups, and I really like that. So there's this sort of farm or fight idea. In most of your objectives, you can choose whether to use farmed resources or to use soldiers that you've trained. And most every encounter on the map and things has that choice, that either you can fight them with soldiers and it'll be this difficult, or you can use your farm materials and it costs this much to get past whatever that obstacle is or that mission. And I like that you can sort of customize your play that way, where it doesn't have to be all fighting or only farming. You really, in this game, have a lot of options to choose from. So along with different ways to finish up your encounters, there's also different ways to gain resources. In addition to building the buildings and choosing the skill tree that boosts your buildings, you can also trade at the trader so that you can directly go to the market where there's other players that have posted resources and the resources they're trying to get. And you can put up extra resources that you have to try and get resources that you're having a shortage in. You can gain resources in events and on the map, and it's really it's nice that there are different ways than just the farming to get those resources. For the actual farming, there's also a feature that allows you to start the same building en masse. So if you have more than one building that's the same, you can hit a little toggle and it'll start all of them on whatever you choose all at once. So this is a big time saver. It's nice to be able to, if you're mainly focused on one resource, you can collect all of that resource at once. You don't have to sit there and tap or scour the screen for where is that building that needed to be started. And then sort of along the same lines, within the mobile version of the game, you have the option to scroll to the next building within the same building type. So if you have two buildings that give you iron, you would click the one, set it for the time you wanted, and then you could scroll to the next one and go through each one. That is a big help when you have a big map and it's full of buildings and you're like, I don't know where I put that one little gem mine or what have you. It allows you to scroll through buildings of the same kind. Another favorite thing, another neat game feature is how integrated they are socially. That applies to the team. Like in your game, you have a chat. It also, they're active in social media, and you can go to their Facebook page and follow them on Instagram. So there really is this sort of community of players, and that's a neat thing to see. Because sometimes it's, players versus each other, or players versus the internet, or the company versus the internet, or versus the players, and it seems like everybody in the Elvenar community is working together to make sure that a good time is had by all. And number 10 is that it is just a pretty game. Bright colors, good, neat graphics, very creative characters. I love the characters that they have in there. And actually, you guys know I like to wrap up these Portal Ekram videos with a tie-in to the homebrew universe that we have. And so I'm thinking that I'm going to find a way to bring this guy, this flower goblin, into the Gatherverse, and give him some 5th edition D&D stats or something similar. So, all right, that's it. You've got our 10 play features for Elvenar, and check out the game. You can find them Facebook. I'll link to the game below, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Internet. Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe, and you can support us on Patreon or buy me a coffee, and we will see you for the next video. Thanks, Internet.